Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Lubo Siois, the host and executive producer of the Dubai Talk Show. We had some small delay due to translation, but we've been given the green light to go ahead. So, Your Excellencies, esteemed ministers, governors, I'm honored to welcome you to day one of the AM Congress Roundtable Series, proudly held under the patronage of the Ministry of the Economy of the UAE. This isn't just the beginning of new conference series, it's the continuation of a bold movement, a movement where nations, markets, institutions gather not to compete but to collaborate, not just to debate, but to design the future investment and economic development. This year, we come together under a unifying global theme, mapping the future of global investment, the new wave of globalized investment landscape towards a new balanced world structure. We launched the prestigious Leaders Talks 2025, Global Challenges of Globalized World, Reconnecting Towards Resolutions. Over the next 3 days, we will witness strategic conversations that shape the rules of engagement for the next decade. Conversations between finance ministers, stock exchange leaders, investment authorities, sovereign funds, etc. So, let's see the agenda for today. We have 2 sessions. The first session, we have the finance ministers and heads of central banks roundtable. And later on, we will have the second session with the head of stock exchanges, markets. So, without going into a long introduction, I will give the word to Mr. Mahmoud, who will be the moderator for our today's session. And let's open the day. Thank you.
Right. Okay, thank you so much. We're still waiting for the interpretations and the headphones. And apologies again for those who cannot follow the conversation in full. My name is Mahmoud Muhiddin. I'm the Special Envoy of the Secretary General of the United Nations on financing sustainable development. I have all the honor to moderate this session. And for a full introduction of the participants, I'll be asking their excellencies, starting by my right here, the Excellency, the Governor of the Central Bank of Kosovo, to introduce his name, and then we'll go through the rest of the round. And then by good opportunity, perhaps, and sincere prayers, we'll be getting the headphones, and then we'll have the conversation. So, Excellency, can you introduce just yourself, and then we will start the discussion immediately after the introductions. Excellency?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, all colleagues, Mr. Muaddin, the Minister of Finance, the governors, deputy governors, the audience present. It's so pleasure to be here today. My name is Ahmet Ismaili. I am the Governor of Central Bank of Kosovo, in a position a year and a half, with long experience on banking and financial sector. Before that, I was serving as a state treasurer and many years in banking and finance. So this is my first term on the central bank, and I'm glad that I'm with you today. Thank you.
All the best in your service to your country, Excellency. Let me go to the second speaker for a quick introduction, please. Yeah. You can introduce yourself, Excellency. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Yaqub Mohammed. I'm the United Republic of Tanzania ambassador here in UAE. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you very much. My name is Emmanuel Tutuba. I'm the governor of the Central Bank of Tanzania. I have a pleasure to be with you here to the round table.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The pleasure is all ours. Thank you. Excellency.
Thank you very much. I am Gulbahor Naziri, Deputy Chairman of the National Bank of Tajikistan.
A pleasure to have you with us, Madam Nazir.
Thank you very much. I'm Mr. Mamadou Diop. I'm from Central Bank of West African States, and I'm the Deputy Governor of the Central Bank. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Excellency Deputy Governor. Please.
My name is Noki Acosta. I'm the Minister of Finance of Costa Rica, and I'm the reason that we need translated because I'm gonna speak in Spanish.
Yes, we are waiting to hear Your Excellency in Spanish when we have the interpretation. Many thanks for Your Excellency's patience with us. So let me introduce the topics on substance. Actually, our gathering today is very timely because some of the discussions that have been happening already at the Bank of International Settlements, the revisions of Basel and their implications on monetary and financial stability is one of the areas that this roundtable is asked to tackle on issues related to compliance with new regulatory measures and challenges. How can we see the new strategies at the national level evolving, matters related to compliance and risk management. So this is an area related to prudential regulation and matters related to monetary policy and its conduct. Then we have some new arrivals. Our world doesn't stop in surprising us. So we have, unfortunately, some renewed inflationary pressures. Some of them are coming from the tariff changes. And we have seen, including from the Federal Reserve System of the United States, some wait-and-see moment about the impact of the new tariffs on inflation and on growth, and how best the monetary policy could be conducted to deal with the challenges of balancing act between the monetary stability, growth, and jobs at the same time. Here we need to explore the effectiveness of the current monetary policy and discussing the risks of old legacy inflation and renewed inflationary pressures. A third area of work is related again to the impact of new measures on trade, including their impact on growth. So here you may have followed the news that there are updates on growth projections. There are risks of recession combined as well with the inflationary pressures. So some circles now are talking about stagflation. Then, in addition to that, this is a fourth area of work. If you can really share with us your plans, if any, on the digital currency and digital economy. We have been hearing the updates from the Central Bank of China about digital yuan. We have been hearing about the digitalization of the euro. There is a talk about stable currency issuance from the United States on a stable kind of a digital currency. So perhaps we can get your feedback on this. And that gets us into number 4. Number 5 is the geopolitical, geographical risks and global cooperation, and how can we deal with the new storms of the tensions between incumbent players and the emerging players. And the organizers are expecting us to provide some guidance on what can we do better in the short term and in the midterm. So I know it's a very big agenda. You are not expected to cover all of these areas. We are expecting you to cover matters from your national perspective, your regional views, and of course, if you have any suggestions when it comes to the global scene. So if I can trouble His Excellency, who's on my right, the Governor of the Central Bank of Kosovo, His Excellency Ahmed Ismaili, to share some insights of any of these topics, and we'll move to the next speaker based on the readiness to engage. And again, we'll see how can we get the interpretation ready for us. Excellency.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you very much. It's our pleasure to be here today. Let me just give some words about my country, because I think we don't know enough each other. So Kosovo is a small, relatively small and open economy, which is placed in Europe, in Western Balkans. We are relatively new population. 75% of our population is young, less than 30-year-old. Very much linked to digitalization, to the ICT services, very open. Now we are aspiring to join European Union, while we have no visa regime with European Union as well. We enjoy a very good relation with neighbors and with regional cooperation under Western Balkan 6. But of course, we have a recently and lately established relation with other countries, including the United Arab Emirates here. We are Euroized economy, so together with Montenegro, we are 2 countries out of 6 on Western Balkans, where we unilaterally adopted euro since many years. And we had a lot of benefits, honestly, on financial stability, but as well on other related matters. From the macroeconomic conditions, the Western Balkan itself is growing by, last year was growing 3.3% on GDP, while Kosovo was growing 4.4%. So we were performing, I think, the best in the region. And while the inflationary pressures have been going down, since after the war started in Ukraine, it was 11.6% inflation. It moved to 4.6%. Now it's less than 2%. We believe that that was very much affected, as the dynamics are connected to the European Union. Let me say that we expect the growth for next year to be between 4.3 to 4.4%. But of course, there are new realities now that you mentioned about fragmentation, geopolitical tensions. But in addition to that, the tariffs, US tariffs, are something that would be relevant for us. Let me just explain that we are very much connected with the European Union. So European Union is our largest trade partner. From the FDI point of view, 45% of our FDIs are coming from European Union, while we have a very strong diaspora living in European Union, mainly in Germany, Switzerland, Austria. And 60% of the remittances are coming from the European Union, while for export and import, we are connected with the European Union. 35% to 45% of our GDP or for exports are coming from European Union. So trying to say that what happened to the European Union is very much passed through to us, and it was confirmed during the crisis that we had in the past, including the war in Ukraine. So that's why the domino effect that we expect from the tariffs in US, that would very much European Union will be affected. That would be as well, some implication would be seen to us. About the banking sector, we have one of the most strongest points, the banking sector. Our banking sector is dominated by foreign banks. 80% of our banks are owned by foreigners, while half of it is European Union banks. That was, I think, a big advantage for us because of the policies, because of the corporate governance, because of the source of the capital that has positively affected our system. The Central Bank of Kosovo is the single authority, financial authority in the country. So we regulate, supervise, and the entire financial sector, including banks, non-banks, insurance industry, capital markets. When we speak about the banking sector, it is representing 60% of our financial sector is represented by banks, which means that they are really systemic from the relevance, and they are in very good conditions. So from the capital ratio, from the liquidity, from the solvency, and MPL, we stand really good. And if you read the IMF evaluation and reports, you will see that they highly appraise the banking sector. Let me just mention two figures. We have the lowest MPL, non-performing loans in the region for many years. It's below 2%, and it was for many years like this. And the return on equity on the banks is approximately 20%. So I'm speaking about a banking sector which is really sustainable, and it has been very much contributive to the economy. Another important figure, how much the banks were supporting the economy, is that 85% is the ratio between loans and deposits, which tells a lot about the utilization, about the capacity of the banking sector to support the economy. Even the intermediation rate is now, like in the region, 65%. We still believe that there is room for more competition, for a better, let's say, distribution of the financial resources. We are aligning our regulatory framework with the European Union, what Mr. Mahmoudin was mentioning. So we follow the European Banking Authority guidelines, in ECB guidelines. We are aspiring to join European Union, so that's why we are as well following their legislation. We are advancing our regulatory framework and the financial infrastructure by strengthening the financial sector stability and resilience with some policies that are from a macro-prudential point of view relevant, but as well from the supervision and micro-supervision. So with advancing the crisis response management, which is relevant those days because of the uncertainties, we are building buffers for the banking sector to make sure that any crisis, potentially would be very well administrated. That's why we decided to increase the deposit insurance fund as well. I chair the fund as a governor, which is a separate entity, but it's really important for the financial stability. So we decided to capitalize the deposit insurance fund, plus we increased the premiums from banks to contribute more on this fund. In other side, we are grateful from the ECB. We got a repo line, a credit line from ECB to backstop us in case of, so entire region somehow get the, even though we are not yet member of European Central Bank, European Union, ECB was so generous to help us as we use euro, as we want to be part of euro. We believe that consumer protection and financial literacy is something that is really important, and we are working hard on it as we move forward to digitalization, cybersecurity, and some other climate-related risks that you all know. From the cross-border payment point of view, we work very good with neighbor countries, with one exception, and we are aspiring all together to join European Union. Just lately, we agreed with Bank of Italy to have a cross-border instant payment solution to be provided for Western Balkans, where we can do cross-border payments between us plus with the European Union. And we are already in the process of becoming SEPA, Single Euro Payment Area members. Now we have 2 out of 6 Balkan countries who already get the green light to join SEPA, Single Euro Payment Area. I can witness that we have a very strong commitment now from the leadership of European Union to include Western Balkans on the integration process. And we see practical examples and initiatives, which one of them is growth plan, I believe you heard about, that all countries are benefiting to become closer with the European Union. We are working as well to increase competition, the transparency of the banking sector. And very important topic is AML and counter-financing terrorism is as well something that we focus a lot. For geopolitics, I think we can discuss later, but what we are, of course, analyzing is the pass-through effects that could be. from those tensions. But do not forget that the cybersecurity and outsourced services and third-party providers are really important now. So it's very relevant who is providing us the critical infrastructure, who is managing our data, and how resilient we are in situation that we might be threatened. For CBDC, as I mentioned, as we are Euroized economy, we follow European Central Bank guidelines now. So for digital euro, we believe that there is no other alternative for us to, together with Montenegro, we share the same view, and we expect that that will really support from financial stability point of view, from the payment efficiency, it is going to be a very good alternative as well for physical euro, and it will compete somehow the innovations that are now very rapidly exchanged and spread out. So I try to briefly cover main of the topics that you mentioned, but I'm very open to discuss any issue with our colleagues and esteemed panelists. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you so much, Excellency. This is great tour about what you are doing, especially in relation with the Eurozone. And that gets me just perhaps one or two follow-up questions. May not be fair because you are about to enter the Union. But one of the things related to financing competitiveness in Europe was very much dependent on the unification of the capital markets in Europe. I know that this is a sensitive topic that had been in the plan for more than a decade now. Do you see a good opportunity, given the kind of tensions, that a kind of reaction by the European Union to get more integrated fiscally and fiscal policies, but now of relevance to your work on the capital markets? Do you see that more happening by getting all, and you are the regulator of all markets of finance in your country, do you see this issue of unification of capital markets happening in a good day in Europe? But and the other thing, if you can update us as well on this issue of the digitalization of the euro and what it means, especially for third countries. The euro is the second international currency when it comes to international reserves. So it's not just important for the members of the Eurozone, but for other countries that are using the euro as part of their international reserve management.
Thank you very much. Very difficult question on the capital markets, and thank you for raising that. I mean, as an observer, because we are not member of European Union yet, but what we can see that it was very visionary to unify the capital markets, and that was probably one of the only thing that was not following the rest of the unification within the Europe. But now with the new situation, I think that it's now a need. So I see much more motivation, much more commitment on the European Union side to do it, because as it is Europe, so however it's fragmented. So it's not, let's say, one market like US is.
Yes.
So competing, and we know that the productivity in the Europe as well comparing to the US and China is much lower. So there is now with the new management of the European Union, new commissioners, we see this much more in agenda. So capital market unification and productivity boost is something that what we know and we follow. It's much more in agenda. It's because it's a strategic direction, but as well it's a threat, and we have to accept that. It's about being able to move ahead to make sure that you continuation within in the European Union. On the digitalization, yes, one side we see that the markets are growing. Let's say the dynamics are high, and the European Union has to react on those. Otherwise, citizens will be, looking to the more advanced, more, innovative solutions. So digital euro and digitalization itself will not only serve the European Union itself, but as well for the third parties. It's really important. And of course, but it has some issues that have to be well managed and addressed. One is about the data protection, about the privacy. So how much and to what extent people will feel comfortable to use the digital currencies. And there is a debate on this, but again, there is no question that we have to move this way. and the benefits are largely explained, and there are a lot of papers on this, what the citizens will benefit. And I think the ECB have done it rightly by going a phased approach, by creating a case first, discussing about the benefits, and moving on what would be final benefit for the Europe, but not only for Europe.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Perhaps one or two of the issues that you mentioned will come back again to you, Excellency, with the discussion. Can I move now, please, to the Bank of Tanzania to know more about its experience, the reaction to the different areas that are covered, either in prudential regulation or in monetary policy, and the coordination with the Ministry of Finance. And let me ask, because I see our interpreters are active interpreting, but we need headphones for their excellent service to be extended to us. Oh, yeah, but not that loud. Okay. Do we have headphones, please? Headphones. All right. Can someone please help us with the headphones to distribute headphones for those who need them? And I know that, yeah. So yeah, we need more here for Spanish and French. Yeah, if you can bring them to us. Thank you so much for your help, sir. Anyone from you in need of this? Yes, please. Two more here, and of course, anybody from the audience who needs translation, we have. Yeah. So we can listen to you, Excellency, and then until then we can get the microphone, the headphone. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, I would like you to extend my appreciation to the organizers and the government of the hosts from here in Abu Dhabi within the EU for hosting us and the entire hospitality that was extended to me personally and my delegation. So Tanzania in general, of course, it's a big country because it's a 31st country in terms of size worldwide. Our size is around the 947,300 kilometers square, with a population of 68 million people as of 2025. So you can see it's a 31st country in terms of size worldwide. So it's a big country. And based on the theme that has been provided here for this particular discussion, I can say that Tanzania, we have been resilient despite all these global challenges. As you all are aware that in 2019 we had a pandemic, and then after pandemic we had some geopolitical tensions due to the war in Ukraine, but still we remain resilient. And it was just on 1st March when we had a meeting for African Central Bank governors. We met in Cape Town, South Africa, and based on the analysis that were provided by the Bank of International Settlement, which were provided there, we saw for us, Tanzania, we were very lucky to have a very good performance because the statistics were comparing the situation in 2022, just immediate after the pandemic and the war in Ukraine, vis-a-vis 2024. So for instance, in terms of GDP, in 2022, our GDP went down from 6.8 to 4.7, but we are lucky by 2024, our GDP growth grew by 5.4%, which was above the world growth, because we understand the world growth was 3.2. Inflation, similarly, in 2022, our inflation was around 4.6, but for 2024, the average growth for entire year was 3.1, which is also above the world inflation. And for the current account deficit, because we had some challenges with USD, or the forex liquidity, and in 2022, our current account was around 6.4, but as of 2024, our current account deficit went down to 2.7%. The debt to GDP ratio also in 2022 was a 44.8, but in 2024 went down to 41.1%. So you can see there are a number of criteria which made us to continue to perform better. And the secret behind was on the effective monetary policy stance that we use it to deploy for us as a central bank. We understand, for example, in terms of inflation, normally there are three categories where we have seen the food inflation. We were lucky because initially, and you have seen in other jurisdictions where the climate change affected those countries and enabled them to suffer from food inflation. But for us, still food inflation was contained because we continue to implement different interventions regarding food production, and we had a very good and robust coordination between the monetary policy, which are spearheaded by the central bank, vis-a-vis the public policy, which are undertaken by the government, as well as the fiscal policies, which are also managed by the Ministry of Finance. So for us, we have been very keen to coordinate and share some of the information which have enabled us to remain very resilient despite all those challenges. But in all, we can see, based on those arrangements, for example, from the best practice that we have took in Tanzania, for us as a central bank, we have different mechanisms, and based on the monetary policy stance, there's a time when inflation was in a line to continue escalating, but we continued to tighten our monetary policy stance. And as of January, we had a monetary, of course, we increased our central bank rates to 5.5. And after 3 months, we saw some challenges. Then we decided to tighten more. We increased our central bank rate to 6%. By doing so, then we were able to contain inflation, which went down to around 3%. Now, we can see that from the monetary policy stance, that's where we can aggregate and enable all other commercial banks, because in Tanzania we have 44 banks which are actually operating in Tanzania. 2 of them are developed banks, but we have 42 commercial banks. But all of them, they depend, the level of liquidity usually have been contained to ensure that we lend money at a very low and reasonable interest rates. So by doing so, we have been able to support economic growth, at the same time contain inflation and enable to have a liquidity which is very stable, that can enable a number of economic activities to be undertaken within our economy. At the same time, continue to support the lenders or borrowers who need money from the central bank. However, we continued also to ensure that in our payment systems, they remain robust. Of course, we developed, we call it TIPS. It's a Tanzania Instant Payment System. However, we had in place initially the modality where those who are transacting for the huge amount within the from one bank to another. We had a homegrown system which is known as Tanzania interbank payment system, and for those who are transacting through checks, we have also a Tanzania clearinghouse. So domestically, when we developed the tips, because it was just immediately after COVID, that's where we wanted to ensure that most of the transactions can be moved from maybe bank wallets, mobile wallets, to another platform among ourselves. So we developed that platform that has been very instrumental to enable many people to transact by using a digital platform. However, for the case of cross-border, Tanzania, you know, we are a member of the East African community. So we have a East African community payment system known as IPS. At the same time, we are a member of the SADC. So we have also SADC RGTS, and you have ratified the African Free Trade Area, where we also allow some banks to transact through we call it PAPS. It's a Pan-African payment system. So we can ensure all the transactions to be covered within the entire Africa. So in terms of digital payment, we have been able to lower some costs, because one of the challenge was on the cost. But when we developed the Tanzania instant payment system, because it was developed by our experts, so as of now, we are currently hosting the tips, and we are covering all the cost. So it is like free to transact from that platform, but some these are mobile money issuers and operators. They have some charges which are very minimal, and you have increased the financial inclusion from around 71% to 76%, based on the lower costs.
Right.
So I can say that there are a number of issues which you have seen, and for us as a central bank, we have been supporting the economy, and we have remained resilient despite of those challenges.
Right.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you so much, Excellency. That's a very good update of what's happening. It's good as well that you updated your country's approach to regional collaboration and the implications of that on central banking. But while you were speaking, let me reveal a secret here. I chatted with ChatGPT to ask which exchange rate regime Tanzania has. I had some knowledge following your country through my work at the IMF. It says here that Tanzania operates under a managed floating exchange rate regime, where the exchange rate is influenced by market forces, but the central bank intervenes to moderate fluctuations. Is that a fair assessment by ChatGPT when you use the AI? Is that a good assessment that you are following a managed float system? Do you describe your exchange rate regime of Tanzania as a managed float?
Of course, you know, Tanzania is a country where we have allowed the market to determine. So it depends on the forces of the demand and supply in the market. And for us, because we have the IFM as usual and the retail market, but all in all, we have a robust market conduct where we have we usually allow market flexibilities. So it depends.
So to the extent that you can call it a free float regime?
Yeah, sure.
Is it? Okay, so that was not my question. Actually, my question is basically when you see these kind of decisions, for His Excellency, the Central Bank of Kosovo governor, is part of the euro. So whatever is being decided by the European Central Bank, you would follow? that automatically if they increase interest rates or lower interest rates. So his life more or less is solved by what's happening through our good friend, Madame Lagarde and the board. But in your case, if you follow the news coming from the Fed system and from Europe, matters. I'm not asking Your Excellency to tell me your decision for the next monetary policy meeting, but do you see this kind of environment helpful for you to take decisions, or you wanted more clarity, more certainty, or you can just take whatever is there and you will survive? So what do you wish from the global system to do better, for you to do better as well in your central banking activity, especially on the monetary policy front?
You know, as I said that sometimes it depends on some circumstances in the economy.
Yes.
Yeah, because the role of the central bank, despite that we are obliged to contain maybe inflation and ensure sometimes availability of liquidity in the economy, but you need also to ensure that the economy will keep growing.
Yes.
To support some of the economic activities. So even the rate which are used to be determined should be aligned with the economic growth targets. And at the same time, as I said, that we will need also to share some information with other key players. For example, that's why I said that we remain resilient to have a low inflation. I think according to the data which were provided by Bank of International Settlement for 2024, we were among the first 5 countries with the low inflation.
Yes.
In the globe. But as I said, that we need to have a well-coordinated framework where central bank should also align with the other key players, for example, from the government side, because if you can concentrate with the inflation without looking or taking some measures to do with the food inflation, sometimes you cannot be able to contain inflation. So for us, for example, food inflation, we understand the repercussion. So that's where, for example, the Prime Minister, who is in charge of government operations, is also have some decisions to do with the level of food purchases, because as a big country, there is sometimes one portion can have enough rains, while others can experience droughts.
Absolutely.
So during the harvest season, under the Prime Minister as in charge of government, they purchase food items from the areas with a surplus, so that during the shortage, they can be distributed to the areas with a shortage to contain food inflation. So there are some issues which I say that we need also to collaborate with other key players.
Right. Thank you so much, Excellency. Can I just ask you a question again for your mandate? Because it's good that you mentioned monetary stability and financial stability. But you mentioned as well, in more than one way, that this kind of balancing act between what you do in bringing inflation under control and supporting growth and job creation. Is that reflected explicitly in the central banking law, that you have a mandate as well to serve growth and development, or it is only, as some countries are, like my home country, for instance, Egypt, is only responsible for monetary stability and giving the mandate of growth and jobs to the government? So do you have a unique mandate or a dual mandate?
Yeah, of course. With regards to the Bank of Tanzanian Act, Section 5 provides a very clear obligation of the central bank, including the issue of containing inflation,
Yes.
economic growth,
Economic growth is there.
yeah,
Okay.
and the payment systems, as well as reserve management.
Okay.
So yeah, and the currency as well. So the issue of liquidity is our core obligation. That's where we usually set the targets to determine how much should be injected in the economy, or
Right.
how much should be mopped up from the economy.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for giving us this good understanding from Europe and from Africa. So we go to another part of the world. So we have Madam Naziri Nadir. Excellency, can you give us an update on any of the questions raised at the very beginning on the areas? Understand that you have a presentation as well. I'd like to share that. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, dear Mahmoud Muhyiddin.
Thank you.
Dear participants, dear colleagues. My presentation is investment opportunities in the country's banking system. Before I begin my presentation, let me thank the organizers of this event and emphasize that this Congress is an important platform for finding new partners and strengthening bilateral and multilateral ties between our countries. Before introducing you to the banking sector of Tajikistan, I would like to share information about the main investment opportunities and government guarantees for foreign investors. It should be noted that according to Article 7 of the Law of the Republic of Tajikistan on investments, the state guarantees equal rights of foreign and domestic investors. Also, in accordance with this law, the investor's property is not subject to nationalization. For interested parties wishing to invest in the financial sector, the procedure for obtaining a banking license is transparent and described in detail in the legislation of Tajikistan. The maximum period for consideration of an application for a banking license is up to 3 months, and the minimum requirement for the authorized capital of banks for the establishment of new banks in the list about 7.3 million United States dollars, which is one of the lowest rates in the region. It should be noted that that financial institutions with foreign capital participation, subsidiaries, branches of foreign financial institutions, as well as domestic financial institutions, are subject to the same supervision and regulation. In addition, the adoption of legislation of Islamic banking creates favorable conditions for attracting foreign investments in the Islamic banking sector. Another attractive aspect of investing in the country's financial sector is that the country's financial system currently ensures the stable and transparent operations of financial institutions that meet advanced international standards. The country also has a stable depositor insurance system that ensures the protection of their rights and interests. In 24, the rating agency Global Rating will raise the sovereign credit rating of the Republic of Tajikistan from B- to B. In addition, the rating agency Moody's revised the forecast upwards from stable to positive in 24. As of the end of 24, there were 65 credit financial institutions operating in the Republic of Tajikistan, including 15 traditional banks, one Islamic bank, one non-bank credit institutions, 22 microcredit deposit organizations, 3 microcredit organizations, and 23 microcredit funds. It is worth noting that out of 65 credit and financial institutions operating in the Republic of Tajikistan, 9 organizations operate entirely with the participation of foreign capital. Investors from the Islamic Republic of Iran, the Federal Republic of Switzerland, the Federal Republic of Germany, and Kyrgyz Republic, England, and the United States of America, the Republic of Singapore, Luxembourg, and the Kingdom of the Netherlands, Kazakhstan, and others. Also in the banking system of the country, there is a representative office on one foreign bank, Agricultural Bank of China. In addition, outside the territory of the Republic of Tajikistan and the United Arab Emirates, in Dubai, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, the Republic of Korea, Republic of Uzbekistan, People's Republic of China, United States of America, and others. The participation of foreign investors in the capital of the banking system indicates that the attractiveness and investment climate of the country are gradually improving, and the share of foreign capital in the authorized capital of the banking system increasing. Meanwhile, in 24, financial institutions attract 88.7% more foreign capital compared to 23. The financial performance of credit institution is 24.6% higher than the same period in 23. Total assets of credit financial institution increased by 26% compared to the same period in 23. The total balance of the loan portfolio of credit financial institutions for the reporting period, 19.8% higher than the same period in 23. Dear friends, considering favorable investment opportunities and state guarantees provided for foreign investments, we invite foreign partners for foreign investments. We invite foreign partners to pay attention to the investment potential of the financial system of the Republic of Tajikistan for future cooperation. Tajikistan offers promising investment opportunities, particularly in the banking and insurance sectors, which are currently undergoing significant modernization and expansion. With a growing economy, strategic location in Central Asia, and a young, dynamic population, the financial services sector has great potential for growth. In addition, Tajikistan in increasingly focusing on green finance, making an ideal location for investments in renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, artificial intelligence, and green infrastructure projects. Investors are encouraged to take advantage of these opportunities and become part of Tajikistan's economic transformation while contributing to a more sustainable future. Along with this, we are very interested in establishing correspondent relations between credit institutions of our countries, which will contribute to the further expansion of trade and economic ties. Dear friends, welcome to Tajikistan. We have good conditions for investors. Thank you very much for your attention.
Well, thank you so much. This was an excellent presentation, and many thanks for your kind invitation to visit your beautiful country. Great civilization, great food as well, and very good people. But can I go back to the presentation, because and I like very much, as others perhaps, the 7 points that you started us with. One area that you considered as one of the good features is the deposit insurance scheme. Deposit insurance. I think it was number 6 or 7. So did you, so did you practice that deposit insurance scheme at any stage? Did you find did you find necessary in a case of default of the banking sector at the very beginning, the first slide? Did you find an opportunity to use the deposit insurance? Because it seems here that your NPLs are in good shape. So historically, and forgive me if I'm not aware, did you practice or exercise any of the powers under the deposit insurance law that you have to protect your depositors, or it is just there for insurance and guarantee? So was it ever exercised in recent history?
Yes, we have supervision in the depositors, and now we are developing the system.
Yes.
And National Bank of Tajikistan pay special attention in the direction.
Right. Okay. But did you historically have any major bank failure to which you were required to use the power of the deposit insurance law, or you didn't need it?
We didn't need.
Okay, good. All right. So just for the knowledge of the audience, there are two ways to insure your depositors. One is through a law, which is called Explicit Deposit Insurance Scheme. I'm not here just talking about Tajikistan, in any country. And the Federal Reserve System has that. All countries have that kind of an arrangement. And the other one is an implicit deposit insurance scheme, by which you may go beyond the explicit deposit insurance. It's an interesting debate that we have been following, but many thanks as well for giving us ideas on the investment environment as well in Tajikistan, and the regional cooperation and the good lines of business that you have with traditional partners of trade and investment and others. Many thanks so much, Excellency, for your presentation.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you. So now let's hear again from a very interesting experiment on regional collaboration and the case of Africa. So, Excellency, you have the floor to tell us more about what we need to know from your work and the kinds of coordination that you are co-leading. Excellency.
Thank you, President. With your permission, I will speak in French, as I said. Monsieur le Président, je vous remercie de nous avoir conviés à cette importante conférence. Le gouverneur de la Banque centrale, Jean-Claude Cassibrou, devait venir à cette conférence, mais il a été empêché par un calendrier extrêmement chargé. Il m'a demandé de le représenter à cette réunion. Alors, nous avons voulu parler de l'évolution de l'inflation depuis la crise Covid, les mesures qui ont été prises au niveau mondial comme au niveau de notre région. Je rappelle que l'Union monétaire ouest-africaine que je représente, c'est 8 pays d'Afrique occidentale. C'est le Bénin, le Burkina Faso, la Côte d'Ivoire, la Guinée-Bissau, le Mali, le Niger, le Sénégal et le Togo. Voilà les 8 pays qui composent et qui ont la même monnaie commune, le franc CFA. Alors, Monsieur le Président, ce que nous avons constaté plus de 2 années après les fortes tensions inflationnistes enregistrées au niveau mondial, qui ont nécessité un relèvement général des taux directeurs des banques centrales, le rythme d'évolution des prix semble diverger selon les régions. En 2024, alors que la plupart des banques centrales des principales économies avancées entamaient un assouplissement de leur politique monétaire, certaines banques centrales, notamment au niveau des pays émergents et en développement, poursuivaient des politiques plus restrictives. L'évolution récente des prix dans la plupart des régions du monde et les leçons qui sont tirées des politiques monétaires mises en œuvre laissent apparaître que le relèvement des taux directeurs est une condition nécessaire, mais pas suffisante pour lutter efficacement contre l'inflation. En effet, malgré le relèvement des taux directeurs effectués par la quasi-totalité des banques centrales à travers le monde, les pressions inflationnistes observées au lendemain de la crise de la Covid-19 et exacerbées par le conflit en Ukraine ont durablement persisté. Cette persistance s'expliquerait par le fait que l'inflation était due à une combinaison de chocs multiformes et plus particulièrement des chocs d'offres, perturbation des chaînes d'approvisionnement mondiales, les chocs climatiques et sécuritaires, les tensions géopolitiques, pour lesquelles les actions de politique monétaire restent souvent inefficaces. En Afrique subsaharienne, le taux d'inflation devrait demeurer à des niveaux élevés, passant de 18,1% en 2024 à 12,3% en 2025. Au niveau de notre Union économique et monétaire, dont la BCEAO est l'Institut d'émission, les États membres ont également connu des fortes tensions inflationnistes à partir de 2021. Ces tensions étaient dues, premièrement, à l'impact du changement climatique, avec des baisses drastiques des productions vivrières, dans un contexte où nos économies dépendent fortement des exploitations agricoles. Pour la campagne agricole 2021-2022 en particulier, la production céréalière a connu une baisse de 13,2%. Ensuite, les chocs d'offres sur les produits alimentaires et pétroliers importés, notamment en 2022, du fait de la crise russo-ukrainienne. Et enfin, à la crise sécuritaire dans certains pays du Sahel, comme vous le savez, qui sont membres de notre Union, a entraîné des perturbations des circuits d'approvisionnement et de déplacement de populations hors des zones de production. Nous avons atteint un pic d'inflation à 7,4% en 2022, pour une cible de taux d'inflation comprise entre 1 et 3%. Ces tensions inflationnistes se sont toutefois atténuées à partir de 2023 en raison de la conjonction de plusieurs facteurs, que sont la hausse progressive des taux directeurs de la Banque centrale d'État de l'Afrique de l'Ouest, à 6 reprises entre 2022 et décembre 2023, pour un total cumulé de 150 points de base. Ces mesures de politique monétaire visaient à ancrer les anticipations d'inflation et à éviter les effets de second tour. Deuxième considération, au niveau de la politique monétaire, les États membres se sont engagés dans une consolidation budgétaire, tout en maintenant des subventions ciblées sur les produits de grande consommation, pour atténuer l'impact de la hausse des prix sur les populations vulnérables. Ces mesures, évaluées à 2,2% du PIB en 2022, ont permis d'atténuer l'impact de l'inflation importée. Troisièmement, la décélération des cours mondiaux des produits alimentaires et énergétiques importés à partir de 2023. Et enfin, la hausse de 6,8% de la production vivrière en 2024-2025 en raison de meilleures conditions climatiques. L'ensemble de ces mesures ont permis de ramener l'inflation à 3,7% en 2024, après un pic de 7,4% observé en 2022. Malgré le progrès réalisé, la lutte contre l'inflation n'est pas totalement gagnée. En effet, bien que la désinflation soit entamée dans la plupart des régions du monde, pour plus de la moitié des pays africains, les niveaux d'inflation restent encore supérieurs aux cibles visées par les banques centrales, avec des risques haussiers qui persistent. À l'origine de ces facteurs, qui sont internes et externes, au niveau interne, il faut considérer l'impact croissant du changement climatique, la dépendance de nombreux pays d'Afrique au sud du Sahara à l'agriculture pluviale encore peu modernisée rend l'inflation très sensible aux conditions climatiques qui se sont progressivement détériorées avec notamment des périodes de sécheresse plus longues ou des inondations plus fréquentes. L'impact du changement climatique est notamment perceptible à travers des baisses drastiques des productions vivrières issues des campagnes agricoles, induisant des hausses de prix des produits alimentaires locaux. Deuxième raison, à la dépréciation continue des taux de change pour les pays en change flexible. La perte de valeur des monnaies locales entretient une hausse continue des coûts d'importation et des pressions additionnelles sur les réserves de change. Troisièmement, au déficit public élevé. En effet, le déficit public demeure encore élevé, ce qui alimente la demande globale et retarde la baisse des prix. Et enfin, quatrièmement, à la forte dépendance à l'offre extérieure de produits alimentaires. La faible diversification économique, notamment en produits à forte valeur ajoutée, rend les pays dépendants de l'offre extérieure et accroît leur exposition et leur vulnérabilité à l'inflation importée. Au niveau international, les principaux obstacles à la baisse de l'inflation sont relatifs à l'intensification des tensions géopolitiques qui maintiennent des pressions haussières sur les cours mondiaux des produits énergétiques et alimentaires. Enfin, mesdames et messieurs, les récentes tensions inflationnistes ont révélé l'arbitrage délicat entre la lutte contre l'inflation et le soutien à la croissance économique. Vous en avez parlé tout à l'heure. En effet, le rythme et le timing du resserrement monétaire revêtent particulièrement une grande importance. Si ce resserrement est tardif, les dégâts causés par l'inflation seront assez conséquents et les coûts de la désinflation le seront également. En revanche, un resserrement trop rapide entraînerait une perturbation brusque de l'activité tout en accélérant le retour de l'inflation vers la cible. Pour ce qui concerne la Banque centrale des États de l'Afrique de l'Ouest, face à cet arbitrage caractérisé par les tensions inflationnistes et une reprise économique encore fragile dans l'Union, nous nous sommes engagés dès juin 2022 dans une normalisation graduelle de la politique monétaire. Cette action visait notamment à éviter un désancrage des anticipations d'inflation et à réduire les pressions sur les réserves de change. Cette approche a notamment permis de contenir les anticipations d'inflation tout en maintenant un financement adéquat des économies. La croissance économique est demeurée robuste, se situant à plus de 5% depuis 2021. De même, l'inflation est restée relativement contenue avec un retour dans la zone cible dès 2023. La zone cible, c'est inférieur à 3%. En revanche, des tensions ont été observées sur le marché financier régional à partir de 2023 en raison de la forte sollicitation des États dans un contexte de resserrement des conditions financières internationales. Cette situation a nécessité l'intervention de la Banque centrale sur le marché secondaire à travers des opérations de rachat de titres publics. Ainsi, Monsieur le Président, on peut dire que l'arbitrage entre croissance et maîtrise de l'inflation pourrait aller au-delà de ces deux enjeux et avoir des répercussions sur la stabilité financière. À cet égard, une bonne coordination entre les politiques monétaires et budgétaires est indispensable. Elle permet notamment d'optimiser les décisions de politique monétaire en vue d'une meilleure maîtrise de l'inflation tout en préservant la stabilité de l'activité économique. En conclusion, mesdames et messieurs, il s'agit pour nous de trouver un équilibre entre le contrôle de l'inflation et le soutien à l'activité économique afin de promouvoir une croissance durable et inclusive. Il est donc nécessaire d'adopter un policy mix coordonné entre politique budgétaire et monétaire et de mettre en place des réformes structurelles. Je vous remercie de votre aimable attention.
Right. Thank you so much, Excellency. Again, very unique case of regional coordination on currency arrangement that had now decades of experience. One area, as an African, I'm asking, have been always raised if the countries involved in trade and investment resolve the issue of the currency risk between them in terms of unifying exchange rate, that can facilitate trade and investment. So to what extent you had seen the kind of coordination since the establishment of the zone in the old days until now have been supportive to trade and investment cooperation? You mentioned that there is a similarity in the structures between the participating countries, like relying on commodities and agriculture. But again, if you say, would trade would have been better or worse if we don't really have this kind of monetary arrangements that is with history and legacy that we're aware of?
Oui, Monsieur le Président, nous sommes effectivement convaincus que le fait d'être en union monétaire procure beaucoup d'avantages. D'abord, il y a la solidarité entre les différents pays. C'est une zone où le taux d'inflation...
We have a problem hearing the translation. Can you try again? Yeah, can you speak again, please? We are all on channel 2 for English. Yes, it's better now. Yeah. Can you repeat, please? Okay. Yes. Go ahead, sir. Excellency.
Donc, je reprends. Hein. Je disais que le fait d'être dans une union monétaire présente beaucoup d'avantages. Parce qu'il y a d'abord des effets d'échelle entre les différents pays. Au niveau aussi de la politique monétaire, do you hear me or not? Je n'entends pas.
Which channel are you using for English, please?
Please, you will talk in
One.
English.
Yeah, can you test again?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I will try to speak.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much for we're getting help from here. Thank you.
As the Vice Governor said, we are in a region in a monetary union. And we have same currency for 8 countries.
Yes.
And we have harmonized monetary policy. And we have also fiscal rule.
Yes.
To supervise the fiscal policy. So we have a space that is more mutualized to fast-track investment and trade. That is a very important point we want to make here, because we have many FDI
Yes.
in our area, our zone, because of the stability, the low inflation, and the harmonized rule in the monetary union. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Excellency, for this update. And it seems that His Excellency want to add something.
Yes, the thing you want to add is the role of UEMOA Commission.
Yeah.
UEMOA Commission is harmonize the rule.
Yes.
Yes, to more facilitate fiscal consolidation, and that help to attract investment and to strengthen trade in our area. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And thanks for the help. And of course, we like to thank the interpreters. They are doing their best, but again, the headphones are not helpful. Now, last but not least, we are moving from, we started by Europe, went to Africa, went to Central Asia, and now, after Africa again, to the beautiful country of Costa Rica. Country unique in many things, including having no army, but very peaceful.
Sí, I hope the English translation is better.
We are trying our luck. Just a second, please.
Yes.
Can you speak? Interpreters, can you try the microphone again? Can you speak? We cannot hear you. We are using number 1 here. English, please. Is it 2 now to English? 2 to English. 2. Okay. Yeah, test, please. Test English. Yes. Yes. Go ahead, sir. Sorry about that.
Muchas gracias. Primero que nada, agradecer la hospitalidad de los Emiratos Árabes por organizar este tipo de actividades. Es interesante conversar entre bancos centrales y ministerios de Hacienda porque para las organizaciones multilaterales es fundamental hacer una separación. En el caso de Costa Rica tenemos una separación, digamos, de hecho, porque el ministro de Hacienda se puede sentar en el board del Banco Central, pero no tiene voto. Y eso es un tema importante. En relación con los temas que usted planteó al inicio, yo quisiera decir tres cosas. Número uno, a pesar de la pandemia, a pesar del esfuerzo de los bancos centrales generando dinero barato en todo el mundo, el proceso de inflación que tuvieron que enfrentar después no tuvo la incidencia sobre el sector bancario y creo que las medidas que se tomaron en el 2008 en esa crisis fortalecieron los sectores financieros de los diferentes países. Ahí quiero decir tres cosas, como les decía. El primero es que la mayor parte de los bancos centrales tuvieron un esfuerzo importante en la pandemia de empujar la economía. Y eso muestra la dificultad de que el Banco Central pueda tener dos objetivos. Impulsar la economía dio como resultado una inflación muy alta y obligó a los bancos centrales a tener que subir las tasas de interés mucho, pero la pandemia dejó a las economías con una situación fiscal difícil y eso ha hecho que haya digamos, una situación complicada desde el punto de vista de la estabilidad de los países. Estamos con tasas de interés muy altas, economías altamente endeudadas y con costos de las tasas muy altos. Y yo creo que ese es un tema que tenemos que abordar con bastante profundidad, porque al final del día, para todos los países es importante la estabilidad fiscal como un requisito para la transmisión de la política monetaria. Y ahí yo creo que hay una discusión importante. El siguiente tema que quería decir es que la regulación efectivamente permitió que no quebraran los bancos. Creo que todos recordamos el 2008 como una situación bastante complicada para todos los países. La quiebra de los bancos generó una pérdida de dinero importante y esto no ocurrió esta vez a pesar del aumento tan vertiginoso de las tasas de interés. Pocos bancos tuvieron problemas, tanto en los Estados Unidos como en Europa, pero creo que nuestros países fueron bastante resilientes frente a esta situación. ¿Qué es el riesgo que tenemos hoy? La incertidumbre. Creo que nunca en la historia hemos tenido tanta incertidumbre como la que tenemos hoy. No solamente un hecho sin precedentes como la pandemia, una guerra en Europa, una situación tensa en el Oriente Medio y ahora una situación comercial que no tenía o que da el traste con un tema que todos los países nos habíamos abordado, que era la multilateralidad, el comercio como un motor de desarrollo. Para los efectos de la economía global, las reglas claras, la apertura comercial fue la forma en la que muchísimas de nuestras economías crecieron, particularmente Costa Rica, que ha logrado insertarse en un mercado en donde ya no solamente produce bienes o materias primas o bienes, sino que entra en la dinámica de los servicios. Y ahí yo creo que hay otro tema que es importante de ver: cómo vamos a lidiar con una potencial recesión y tasas de interés altas. Eso realmente tiene complicaciones para efectos de los países y más si vamos a cerrar los mercados. Entonces hay que hay que ir analizando cuál es la forma en la cual vamos a resolver una dicotomía en donde vamos a ver diferentes países, incluso vecinos, actuando de maneras contrarias. Y esta divergencia en las políticas puede generar situaciones complicadas desde el punto de vista del tipo de cambio, desde el punto de vista de la situación comercial, del crecimiento económico de los países, y eso es algo que no solamente deberíamos pensar a nivel local, sino también a nivel regional, y de cuáles son las consecuencias globales de situaciones que pueden generar inestabilidad o volatilidad en los tipos de cambio de todos nosotros. El otro tema que usted abordó y que me parece bien importante es el tema de la era digital. No solamente de la era digital como un desarrollo de potencial crecimiento de los negocios o de potencial crecimiento, sino de los riesgos que implica, los temas de la ciberseguridad, los temas de la forma en la cual manejamos la información. Costa Rica en el 2022, el Ministerio de Hacienda tuvo un ataque cibernético que generó prácticamente que se detuviese el proceso de cobro de impuestos de la manera en la que lo conocíamos. Tuvimos que retroceder 20 años y volver a un mecanismo manual para recoger impuestos. Y yo creo que ahí hay un tema muy importante porque estamos más expuestos. Cada vez que tenemos más tecnología estamos más expuestos a este tipo de situaciones. Yo creo que ahí, como le decía, el tema de los fintechs y de todo el tema de desarrollo de medios de pago tiene importancia, pero también la exposición a estos genera riesgos que tenemos que manejar, y ahí yo creo que hay que invertir muchísimo dinero para efectos de poder tener plataformas lo suficientemente robustas. Y yo creo que esta participación acá nos da la oportunidad a todos de empezar a conocer cuáles son las direcciones en las cuales vamos a ir, cuáles son aquellos temas que podemos compartir, aquellas cosas que podemos discutir, pero particularmente algo: todos vivimos en un país que de una u otra manera tiene interrelaciones con los demás. Los mercados financieros es el mejor ejemplo de los riesgos que significa la integración. Potencial crecimiento, pero esa integración implica responsabilidades, y esas responsabilidades yo creo que son importantes discutirlas en foros como el que tenemos hoy.
Right, thank you so much. I think more or less we got the gist of the direction of Your Excellency's intervention. I just like to take the opportunity of something that your country had been very much pioneering in doing, which is dealing with debt through the famous debt swaps that you did back in the 1980s. Always being reminded by my good sister, Rebecca Greenspan, the head of UNCTAD, of how debt swaps was very much helpful in the old days. And now, do you see opportunities? Of course, you don't really have the similar debt problems like in the past, but what could be shared of your experience for countries suffering from heavy debt today? What could be if you say 2 lessons, positive or negative, if I am going to do these debt swaps into nature or climate or into equity, what could be your best advice to them?
Primero que nada, decir que los swaps son un mecanismo importante para poder reducir el riesgo de tipo de cambio en las Costa Rica. Para el país ha sido bien importante reducir el riesgo de tipo de cambio y también de tasas de interés. En un entorno en donde la volatilidad es una situación perenne, nosotros tenemos dos particularidades. El primero es que para ir a los mercados internacionales yo necesito una autorización legislativa, pero yo puedo endeudarme en dólares en el mercado local. Y esa exposición, independientemente de que lo haga afuera o adentro del país, tiene consecuencias. ¿Qué es lo que ha pasado? A raíz de la consolidación del país, el tipo de cambio ha venido revaluándose. El colón es cada vez más fuerte y esto nos permite reducir digamos, el costo de los dólares. Bajo ese principio, lo que hemos estado haciendo es hacer swaps con los organismos multilaterales, en este caso el Banco Interamericano de Desarrollo, y esto nos permite fijar un tipo de cambio a 10 años plazo y con eso nosotros liberamos presión sobre la potencial aumento de tipo de cambio. Pero además, esto nos permite fijar la tasa de interés y al fijar la tasa de interés, nosotros podemos convertir una deuda variable en una deuda fija. Y eso es fundamental, pero no lo hemos hecho solamente colones dólares, que es la moneda de Costa Rica es colones dólares, sino que también lo hemos hecho con francos suizos. Right. Y eso precisamente para buscar una canasta de monedas que vaya limitando la variación del valor de una y otra moneda. En el caso de los temas de lo que hemos hecho nosotros en el mercado internacional, Costa Rica tiene una particularidad. Costa Rica es un país no solamente que no tiene ejército, sino que ha desarrollado desde hace mucho tiempo un esquema de desarrollo amigable con el ambiente. Eso quiere decir que nosotros hemos tenido mucha legislación que nos ha permitido a nosotros proteger muchísimo de nuestro territorio. No hemos logrado hacer emisiones verdes porque precisamente los inversionistas perciben a Costa Rica como un país verde, pero lo que sí hemos logrado es tener acceso al Fondo Monetario Internacional que nos dio recursos concesionales para poder financiar nuestro gasto y además hemos estado haciendo créditos de apoyo presupuestario basados en matrices de conservación. El último tema que quería comentar es la importancia de que los bancos centrales incorporen el tema del cambio climático dentro de sus evaluaciones, particularmente de la exposición de los bancos comerciales a temas climáticos.
Right. Thank you so much, Excellency, for this update and bringing the history to the present discussions. We're required to finish this good discussion in a few seconds, but let His Excellency, the Governor of the Central Bank of Kosovo, wants a few seconds, and perhaps for me to wrap up. And if we can take up an opportunity, just take a photo in front of this nice sign of the AIM Congress. Mr. Governor.
Thank you very much. Just wanted to thank the Minister of Finance of Costa Rica mentioning this fiscal consolidation and the West African countries as well. So monetary policy one side, fiscal policy as well, very important. And what we have in common with Costa Rica, for example, even though we are so far, lately they've successfully finished the program with IMF, RSF, we did the same. And the second curiosity, Costa Rica was the first country in the world to recognize Kosovo as independent state. So it is a good coincidence. We admire you. And just guess the 50th country, the first Arab country to recognize Kosovo was United Emirates, and the 100th was Egypt. So I think even though we are, far in distance, we share the same issues, same things. So having a chance to see from different views, from the central bank point of view, from the Ministry of Finance point of view, and from practices that you had in different countries. For example, in Western African countries, 8 countries is really something that we can learn a lot, how you can, even though you are separated countries, have one central bank, which helps a lot on consolidation. So thank you very much. This is it was, for me, a big chance to learn from you. Thank you very much.
Right, I share your sentiment and conclusion, Excellency Governor, and I'm happy that many countries around the world are benefiting from the RST, or the Resilience and Sustainability Trust Fund, that I helped creating when I was at the IMF. with the ED, the Executive Director of Brazil, Mr. Bevilacqua, and the Executive Director then of Spain, Pablo Morano. And of course, it needed the board approval and the leadership of the Managing Director of the IMF. And I hope that this RST, focusing not just on climate but other matters of resilience, will continue, because I think there is a heavy demand for it. Having said that, please join me in thanking this excellent members, these excellent members of the panel for sharing their insights and being very open in getting us to know more, not just their monetary and fiscal policies, but their countries and their ambitions. Thank you so much. Photo time, please. If we can have a picture at the back, that would be useful.